Alright. I'm thinking about this. If it's not the small seasoning bottle, it would definitely have to be the scarf. As you can see right over here, this is Bat's scarf, stained with his blood, and a small quantity of pepper. It would seem that once again I had the right answer, it's just that I didn't provide the right evidence. We're still talking about pepper, which would have affected the lion, as I said before. Let's see. That's just a scarf. Acro. Okay, good. This scarf is something that Bat used to wear, correct? That's right. And who is the one that gave this scarf to Bat? Regina. Regina gave it to him. Regina. There is something more than just blood on the scarf, Your Honor. And what might that be? Pepper. 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 Regina gave the scarf to Bat right before the accident. And she covered it with as much pepper as she could. Hey, what's with the silent treatment? Yeah, it does sound like another one of Phoenix Wright's bluffs and all that, but trust us, this time it is serious. Excuse me, Mr. Wright. You've done a good job of fingering a criminal. Ew. Don't never say that again. But out of curiosity, what was her crime? Miss Berry gave a pepper-covered scarf to Bat as a present. Where's the crime in that? It still seems like the judge doesn't get it. Although Franny sure is.
Mr. Phoenix Wright. Wasn't it said as the lion seemed to be smiling?
Yes, indeed. Smiling? The lion was smiling?
Right before Bat was bit by the lion. For a moment, the lion's mouth changed and it looked like he was smiling.
Lions smile?
I've never heard of them smiling. However...
Lions sneeze. Yep. That's the reason why everybody thought that he was smiling. But no. It was actually a sneeze. That's why Bat got into that accident. Leon wasn't trying to bite Bat at all. In reality, all he actually did was sneeze. He sneezed because of all the pepper on the scarf. What?
You fool!
You gotta be kidding me.
Objection!
What's the matter, Miss Von Karma?
I object for objection's sake. Mr. Phoenix Wright, this theory, you believe it? You really intend to say that this is how this joke of an accident actually happened?
Again, kind of a stretch, and I had the right idea before, and it was because of that I got my first ever guilty verdict, but it is true. Of course I do. It's the truth. The lion sneezed due to the pepper, and that's when Bat lost consciousness. A.k.a. nearly lost his brother due to this accident, or this joke, as you put it. Which is why he tried to get his revenge against Regina.
You foolish idiot.
Huh. It almost does seem like a terrible joke, doesn't it? Once again, I'm impressed by your imagination, Mr. Wright. To think that there's someone who treats this accident with the respect it deserves. Are you telling me that what I said was true?
Girl. You don't mean... You cannot mean... Fitness?
Are you confirming the defense's claim? Mr. Wright, unfortunately your imagination is not enough to find me guilty of murder. What do you mean by that? The pepper, the scarf, the lion. I see where you're going, but it's a bit hard to swallow. Not to mention the fact that there's an even bigger problem with your theory. What would that problem be? The same problem it's always been. Evidence. If I dropped Max's bust on top of the ringmaster, where is the evidence that proves that claim? Are you serious? We're going back to how you did it? Well, if we are to answer that question, you mean the conclusive evidence? Okay, you know what? It kind of makes it feel like you're painting it as conclusive. I mean, you could have done whatever you want with that bus after you murdered Russell. You could have thrown it, like, outside of the city for... Well, actually... No, hold on a second. Yeah, this actually raises a question. Again, a.k.a. couldn't leave his room to begin with. And if he were to lend the murder weapon to somebody completely different, that would mean that he would have had an accomplice, but he didn't. Therefore, he had to have had the bust inside his room to begin with, like no matter what. It was still supposed to be in a.k.a.'s room. There was no way for him to get rid of that evidence.
The biggest problem is a murder weapon, or the lack thereof, to be more precise.
The murder weapon. The bus that the defense claims was used. If that were to be found in a.k.a.'s room, if it was covered with the victim's blood, that would be awfully conclusive in my eyes. Yeah, however, when we went to his room, when we investigated his room, we didn't find the bust. And he couldn't leave anywhere to get rid of the bust to begin with, so...
Yes, it would be.
The bust.
Nick, you gotta do something.
This is the last step. If I get this one right, the case is won. Nah, hold on a second. I doubt that searching a.k.a.'s room would do any justice, cause even if a.k.a. weren't able to get rid of the bust, to get it out of the room, he still had the problem of having the bust inside the room to begin with, and if Phoenix or even Franny were to see the buzz, then it would have been game over, so a.k.a. had to get rid of it somehow. And he couldn't even throw it out the window to begin with, because it would have been at the scene of the crime. What the hell is this? Let's see how things work out first. It might be worthwhile to search a.k.a.'s room, but...
Why are you going to search his room? It looks like you finally figured things out, didn't ya? Now you know the true meaning of Von Karma Total Justice.
I guess. It's whatevs. Whatever you say, Franny. I figured with you, that's the least I should expect. You leave no stone unturned.
Von Karma never leaves anything to chance. We already searched Echo's room yesterday.
What did you find?
There is no reason to even say it. If we found what you think we found in that room, Echo would not be here as a witness.
Franny could lie here, though. She could be the one that is hiding the weapon to begin with. Do we have evidence for that? No. Unless we were to spy on Franny with a photo, like with a camera, and take pictures of wherever she's going, the same way she did to us in the last case. But we don't have that sort of evidence, so...
But to put a point on it, Max's bus was not in the room. The murder weapon is still unaccounted for.
And if Franny were to be caught in this, that she was the one that hid the murder weapon, then she would be considered an accomplice to this murder. And if she were caught, then say goodbye to your prosecutor career. I doubt that you are ever going to get out of this, if this were to be true. You see, Mr. Wright, the bus wasn't in my room.
Furthermore, Detective Dick Gumshoe executed the search by complete surprise.
Oh, okay, so Gumshoe also did an investigation for that. In that case... yeah, there is no way that Franny did it.
And we took Echo directly to the prosecutor's office after that. End of story.
Just wait a second. Something's funny about all this. It looks like you lacked the final nail to put into my coffin. But, what about the scarf? What about the note? What about them, Mr. Wright? No offense, but the only evidence that is relevant here is that which pertains to the death of the Ringmaster. You should know that by now. Ugh.
Do something, Nick. Don't let this case slip away. First, where is it now?
You know, it reminds me of that one time when we caught Manfred of murder. The piece of evidence that we needed was inside him all along. I mean, there's no way that we could fit an entire bust inside the Acro's body. I mean, there's no way for that. Where's the bust right now?
Phoenix Wright, you know where that bust is. I'm sure you do.
There's not even a single clue. Am I supposed to know where the bust is? Well, when in doubt, think outside the box. Though, to be honest, I don't even know where to begin with this. Since this case is coming to a close, the defense's counter-arguments look to have fallen short. Oh... are you serious?
Thank you for your support.
I'm terribly sorry, Mr. Wright. I think that brings to an end the cross-examination of this witness.
Where is Max's bust? The defense needs time to prepare to present its case. I mean case. Sorry, I'm a bit nervous and I just bit my tongue.
Huh?
What?
We need time to do...
Wow! Why are you the most surprised person here? She's your aide, isn't she?
Do you really have a case to present, Mr. Wright? Are you asking me?
This is up to you, Nick. Good luck.
Hey, wait, you cannot be serious.
Acrobats always have their lives on their lines, don't they? That's how Acro's lived his life up to now. Now it's time for us to walk across our own tightrope.
Damn! That is quite deep, Maya.
If we don't, we're certain to lose.
You're sounding like your big sister there, Maya. Very well. The defense may proceed. He doesn't have a clue. And I don't think he'll be finding one anytime soon. Walking the tightrope of logic. There's no room for a false step. Sink or swim. The only way through is forward.
The murder weapon. Where is Max's bus now?
Okay, I need to think about this. Somewhere in the lodging house. Somewhere in the big top. Somewhere in this courtroom. The only thing that was mentioned of a.k.a. going outside of his room is when Franny directed him to the prosecutor's office, but outside of that, there is no way he could get out of the room to get rid of the bust. This could mean that on the way to the prosecutor's office, or you know, it reminds me of that one time when we caught Manfred of murder. The piece of evidence that we needed was inside him all along. He's in a wheelchair, right? Oh wait, this is gonna cost me another guilty verdict, isn't it? Let's say that it is somewhere in this courtroom. It's obvious. The bust is inside this very courtroom. It's obviously where? If we are to think of it outside of the box, if there is no way for a.k.a. to get rid of the bust away from him, then he could be hiding it himself. Right under our noses. Allow me to pinpoint the location of the bust once and for all. The location of the bust can only be at the witness stand, Your Honor. a.k.a. I'm sorry to ask this, but do you mind if I take the blanket off your wheelchair? I'm sorry, I didn't quite hear you, Mr. Wright. Well, you're a big guy, and you have a pretty big wheelchair because of it. I just wanted to make sure you weren't hiding anything under that blanket. Holy shit. Apparently I was right. Holy moly. Because it seems to me that it'd be really easy to say, hide the bust under there. Once again, your penchant for humor hits me where it hurts, Mr. Wright. I think it's pretty amazing that you can laugh in your position. However, your lightheartedness doesn't change the fact that the bust is under there. We all know that you cannot leave the lodging house by yourself in your condition. That proved inconvenient when Ms. Von Karma happened to search your room yesterday. If she had found the murder weapon in your room, it would have been all over. Which is why you had to hide it. In the only place that you could hide it. Under your wheelchair. Right under our noses. All this time. Which is why, a.k.a. I have to ask you again. Would you please remove the blanket from your lap? Well done, Mr. Wright. Masterfully played.
You fool! How could you?
You've got me. I've been bagged by a real pro. Actually, two of them. Two of them? Miss Franziska von Karma and Mr. Phoenix Wright.
What?
There's just one thing I'd like to know. How did you know to launch the surprise search on my room last night? The surprise search? There were two pieces of decisive evidence. The cloak and the bust. I burned the cloak in my room and threw the ashes away with the trash. Regina always took my trash out every morning, you know. But the bust, obviously, I couldn't throw that away. When you executed your search, all I could do was try and hide the bust. And the only place that I could hide it quickly was under this wheelchair. Miss Von Karma, you had things all figured out, didn't you? I was completely sucked in by your calculated strategy. And now to be caught in the middle of the court hiding the murder weapon. There's no way I can escape that. So you got me. Well done, Mr. Wright. Well done, Miss Von Karma. It all makes sense now.
I cannot believe that Von Karma fought that far ahead. It's amazing.
That doesn't change the fact that she hid that detail. She didn't want us to reveal that, did she? You definitely couldn't tell by looking at her. I know I sure couldn't.
I cannot believe it. Me! Make a mistake! Why did I order a surprise search of your room? If only I hadn't done that!
It seems we finally arrived at the truth. Acro. Yes, Your Honor. Did he kill the ringmaster of the Berry Big Circus, Mr. Russell Berry? Yes, Your Honor. I'm responsible for that crime.
Acro.
All my brother wanted was for Regina to like him. That's why he teased her. One day, my brother sprinkled some pepper on Regina. She started sneezing so hard, you couldn't help yourself from laughing. And that's why Regina thought it'd be fun to get him back in the same way. And that's why she covered the scarf with pepper. I know she didn't mean for anything bad to happen. I know this. She just wanted to make my brother sneeze a few times too. But I just couldn't forgive her. No matter what. What I am truly guilty of, I am guilty of never, ever being able to understand her. Your brother became a star. Regina believes in that so purely. That she would laugh innocently when saying it. Too innocently. I just couldn't stand it. No matter how hard I tried. And that's when he decided to do something about Regina.
How dreadful.
So are you saying that you are a victim in all of this as well? No. That's not what I mean.
Oh!
I'm nothing but a murderer. That's who I am. At first, I thought I'd killed myself. Then I pondered giving myself up. But I couldn't just up and leave. I just couldn't. Not yet. That's why I tried to pin this on Max. Max, I'm sorry. I just couldn't up and leave yet. Oh. This had been such a strange case. It's almost a reflection of the circus itself. Yes, indeed. This, once again, has been quite the clown fest. In every single way possible.
I am an idiot! I cannot believe it! You beat me again!
Well... yes and no. Yes, we have beaten you, in that we established that Max is not guilty in the end. But still, in my own case, I got a guilty verdict technically in a different timeline, so to speak. But realistically speaking, it is quite a sad outcome, really. It is quite sad. Nobody won today. I believe this case is now beyond any point of possible discussion. Thus, I'd like to declare my verdict. Not guilty! Thank you! Oh, okay. This was quite the case. Wow. This court is adjourned. And now it's 4:27 p.m. It sure took us quite a bit. Fabulous! But to be honest, I cannot really be too happy about this.
Acro, the Ringmaster, Regina, and Bat. Not a single one of them was a bad person inside, huh?
That's a good question. And one I don't know the answer to.
Many congrats! But only at max. 1,000,000 of them.
Thank you. Well, I guess one good thing that we can get out of this is that, well, we saved Max in the end. That's good.
What's with the vibe in this room? We're just thinking about Acro. No. If you worry about people too much, then you'll be like this forever, and never be happy. Huh?
Oh god! Regina! Oh. She's been like this for a while now. Yeah, I guess reality finally struck her in the head quite well.
It's all my fault!
Oh. Sweetie pie.
Bad and Acro. They're never coming back. Now everyone's gonna split up.
No. That's not true. That doesn't necessarily mean that the circus is gonna disband. I mean, come on.
That's right. So tell me something.
What do you want to know, Regina?
Acro said something right at the end.
I just couldn't up and leave yet.
Does that mean that Acro... is he gonna try and get his revenge on me?
No, I don't think so. I think I know the answer to this. He's not gonna do that to you, Regina.
Are you sure? You're really sure? I can believe that?
Yep. Echo doesn't have any desire for revenge anymore.
If that's true, then I want to see some evidence.
Yeah?
I want to know you're not just making up that stuff about Acro not wanting revenge.
Simply put, the one obvious answer that I can get out of this is that he wanted to see Bat wake up. Echo didn't want to get caught for a reason. He wanted to see his brother open his eyes again.
Bat. That's right, Regina. He's still alive, you know.
Yeah, he's still in a coma. He's not dead. he could wake up any day. Even if it was like 6 months, even if it's 1 year, there is still a severe chance that he's gonna wake up one day. And Akro really wanted to see his brother wake up, finally.
I never knew. Now that Akro's been caught. I know. What? I'll do it. I'll stay next to Beth as long as it takes.
Yeah, that is a good step, Regina. I can totally agree with that. You should totally do that.
Until he opens his eyes. And then until he can meet Akro again.
Oh, that's so sweet of you, Regina.
Sorry, Akro. Oh, sorry, Beth.
Well, hopefully this is enough to give her a little peace of mind. Hey, Max. What is it, Mo? We really put you through a lot, didn't we, buddy? I'm sorry about what happened. So whenever you'd like to leave us, I'll pay your fee and rip up the contract. I understand. What a fabulous thing to do for me. I might even leave tomorrow. And what's going to happen to the circus now? That's the big question. Our ringmaster was really an amazing person, wasn't he? Even though he's not here anymore, everyone is sticking together. The staff, the performers, no one wants to leave the circus. That's why I've made the decision. What is it? I decided that I will take over as the new ringmaster.
Hey! Mo is gonna be the new ringmaster.
I'll turn this circus into the best circus this world has ever seen. Yeah, you do that, buddy. The best circus the world has ever seen? Don't laugh! Well, that's quite the goal.
Hey! I can wait!
Yep, and there's no denying it. Whenever the circus is gonna open up once again, we are gonna be the first customers. We are gonna be the first ones in the audience, and I guess that changes things. Nah. There's only one thing the best circus the world has ever seen needs. The world's best illusions. Which means the circus needs the best magician the world has ever seen. Max. Let's work together and make our circus super fabulous. What do you say, big guy? Wow. That is like the nicest thing that you have said up until now, Max. To work on the circus together. I don't know what to say. All I can say is thank you. Regina, you're gonna help them out too, aren't you?
I don't know. Maybe the circus would be better off without me.
But why? What are you talking about, Regina? Why do you think that I brought you to court today? We've got to work together to make the very big circus bigger than it's ever been. Not to mention your fans, Regina. You surely have your fans as well. You wouldn't want to leave them right now.
Well...
Mo's right, sweetie pie. We cannot be the very big circus without Regina Berry.
Max. Nick!
It sounds like everything is going to turn out alright here.
I can't wait to see the best circus the world has ever seen.
Yep, and together with pearls. Which, you know, I am still complaining about this. We haven't had enough pearls in this case. We need more pearls! 0 out of 10. This case is like the worst case ever. Not enough pearls. Just joking. Like, you know, if I were to say my thoughts about this case that we had, this episode, this trial, this case that we had in this, I can see why people didn't like this case as much as the other cases and all that, because of the characters, because of how stretchy this whole case was, this murder plot was, with the cape and how it all happened and all that. I can see that. I wouldn't say that this was the best structurally, but you know what? I still like it. I like that. It'll take us a while to get ready, but I need to order special whoopee cushion seats. Oh, and I'm gonna miss your laugh so much. I see. What made the case? Yesterday's surprise rate. It really paid off, just like I said it would, sir. You had it all figured out, didn't you? It was just a theory. If Akira really was the killer, I thought this was the only way it could end. Especially if he was the defense attorney. You mean Mr. Wright? Of course. Now, detective, my plane is about to leave. As for Mr. Akro's case, you need not worry. Don't tell me. I plan to personally stop by the chief prosecutor's office as soon as I get back. Oh! Understood, sir. I'll be waiting for you, Mr. Edgeworth. There you are, you bastard! Where have you been all this time? You motherfucker! When you come back to Japan, California, I'm gonna beat you silly.